evening. Melissa Johnson here for episode 95 of Melissa Loves to Talk. Today is June 19th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have had a great week. I am going to talk about a couple things that are very controversial, and I'm going to tell you my opinion, and we'll see how it goes. So this is something that will probably not be completely talked about a lot on mainstream media. Probably none at all. I don't watch mainstream media, so I hear things that they will not talk about. So I'm going to talk about, if you saw the headline, is who do you think's a threat? Muslims or the Jews? So I did not look up a whole bunch of things about the Jews. I am just going to present to you some stuff about what's going on right now with Muslims. And I don't even have a lot of data. I'm not going through everything. It would take me hours and hours and hours. I'm just mostly pointing out two of the things. And then what I can say about the Jews is I have not heard the same thing about them. So that's what I'm going to say once I show you the info that I have received. Now, I would say that as far as allies, as much as people want to talk trash about Israel, they are our closest ally. They are, yes, having problems with Lebanon, but that is the only country that they've had problems with. Okay? They are not bothered by all these other countries, but these other countries bother other people, like Afghanistan, Iraq. How many years were we over there? 20 plus years. And nothing really changed. Okay? The Taliban, Muslims. All the terrorists have been Muslims. So, this is the conclusion. Yes, people have their issues with Israel. I don't want to defend any government. Even our own government, I don't trust them completely. Because there's parts of the government you cannot always trust. That's any government. So I would say, sure, we don't trust Bibi. We don't trust his cabinet, his Congress, or whatever they have over there. We may not trust them. But that doesn't say they're not our closest ally. And they are not a threat to America as of right now. But other countries, like again, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, look what's going on with Iran. These are all Muslim countries, which technically Iran is not technically a Muslim country if you look up their religious beliefs, but because the Muslims control it, which is another thing. 1979, before 1979, it was not run by Muslims, and it looked like here. Since it's been controlled by Muslims, it looks like trash. Okay? So there's another thing. Where Israel, you go to Israel, people say it's beautiful. I've not been there, but I've never heard a bad thing about when they went to Israel, they had a bad experience. Never, ever. I've not. Not saying it doesn't happen. I just have never seen people that have went there and said, man, Israel's the worst. I've not. They all have had good experiences. where I can guarantee you, if you go to Afghanistan, if you go to Iraq, if you go to Lebanon, you're not going to have the same kind of experience. Okay? I can tell you that. It looks like trash. It is trash. So, and yes, we only trust Jesus's government. So that's why I guess we're always at this place. We're always at this place, right? Like, we love the people. We can't stand the government. And that's even here. Again, there's people in our government I don't trust. Our president, I trust him. I'm going to trust his judgment. I believe God has picked him. There's no way an 80-year-old can do the things he does without God. I don't care what all these people say. They can talk trash about him, but people can't do what he can do. So I believe God's holding him. He's got him doing what he wants him to do. And people can believe whatever they want. It's a free country. That's what's great about this country. But I'm going to show you some articles. Now, I am not going to read them all because it's traumatizing to even read it, to put the thoughts in my brain. Okay? This, again, is probably something you've seen if you watch podcasters. You probably have seen this. I don't believe it's been on any mainstream media. Again, I don't know because I don't watch it, but I've seen it on some of the podcasters that I watch have shown this stuff. Some of them got into really detail. I am not going to do that because it's very traumatizing. And I can't do that to myself, number one, to read it, to put that in my mind. And I don't want to read it and put it out there. It will be your decision on if you want to go back and read it, because I'm going to give it to you to read. So I'll tell you exactly where you want to find it if you want to read it. So here we go. I am sorry. I'm going to probably say a little bit of graphic stuff, but I'm going to try not to go into a lot of detail. Okay. So this is about UK grooming gangs is what this is. So this is in the UK. And this is Rupert Rowe. Wait a minute. Now I can't remember what it's called and it's not there. Report or something. Oh, shoot. It started playing. Sorry. I have not watched this video, so I don't know exactly what it's going to talk about. I'm talking about the report. You can actually read the report. I believe it's 500 and some pages. But like, again, you can go and find it. It's called, again, Rupert. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they say it. And I can also go down and show it if you want. Rupert Rowe rape gang report or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to show this and we're going to see, which also just realized there was no volume and it should be volume. Hold on. Oh, the volume's off. Okay. Unmute it. Okay. So here we go. I'm sorry if it says something. I have not watched this.
After a British independent member of parliament, Rupert Rowe, has now released an independent report on grooming gangs, reigniting the debate over past child sexual exploitation cases. And this report, which has been described as a 218-page document, has drawn widespread attention and criticism for its strong language, and also claims that are regarding the scale and the nature of these offences. So this is now also coming at a time when we speak of such grooming gangs and the subsequent controversies that has also come after when it comes to this very comprehensive and lengthy report that has now come across of the rape gang inquiry report, that accordingly according to this British MP, has exposed decades of institutional failure.
It's over 200 pages long, and it goes into the root causes of probably the most extensive, widespread scandal that has ever beset Britain. It goes to every corner of the country. It's not in silos, it's everywhere. And it involves failure by the British establishment. And by the British establishment, I mean obviously government ministers, the civil service, local government, social services, the police, the judiciary, the NHS, and the media,
which is why I said the government, because the government covered this up.
Supposed to be the guardian for the British people of scandals like this, but they've singularly failed to do that. The report goes into the reasons how it's happened. It goes into the reasons why it's happened, and that is all the reasons, and we analyze everything. I'm very grateful to all of the experts who appeared, all of the survivors who were brave enough to appear, all of my fellow MPs who came, and most of all to Graham Smith, who is the barrister who has produced this report with help from members of the inquiry team.
Well, Srinjoy is connected with us. Srinjoy, this report is extensive, it is comprehensive, and it talks about coordinated networks that seems to be targeting young white girls for sexual crime that has been documented at least 149 districts of the United Kingdom.
The fact that this has been going on, and of course now it's been reported in the media, the fact that it has been going on for so long, and virtually every one of these members of these grooming gangs are Pakistani, is actually something that the British establishment is worrying about. Now, Rupert Lowe is from a very right-wing party, but nevertheless, he has drawn attention to this fact that this has been happening for a long time, and it's only now that the British media is picking it up, and the fact that the British establishment is taking action against it, because this has affected many, many young women in Britain and for a considerable period of time. So finally action is being taken, hopefully, and very pointedly, it's clear that the overwhelming majority of the people who are members of these gangs, these grooming gangs, are all Pakistani or of Pakistani origin.
That has been highlighted and very strongly in this report, which.
And this is probably a guy that is probably that from that area. He seems like he is probably, you know, that Arab or something like that. I'm not trying to be a certain way, but by his accent, that's what he sounds like. So I feel like he is very shocked by it, and really doesn't really want to talk about it, because I feel like feels like maybe he's throwing them under the bus. Not really sure if you're getting that, but that's how I feel about it.
Which is a quite extensive report, Akansha, because that is coming in as, according to the MP, Britain faces an immigration problem and it's not racism, and he's called for prosecutions and deportations and severe penalties to be imposed.
Through what he has mentioned on social media and also the report, he has said that our inquiry report proves that without doubt there is undeniable link between religion and the rape gangs. As a country, we need to find the courage to finally say so. And this is the detailed rape inquiry report that goes on to show that it concluded the first phase of the work. It was established established to examine one of the most horrendous scandals in the long history of the country, the targeting of girls, overwhelmingly white British, by Muslim Pakistani gangs across towns and cities up and down the nation. The evidence presented through the hearings confirmed what had been long known but repeatedly denied by many in the political class. The inquiry welcomed girls, boys, men and women of all the races and religion to testify their experiences to gain a complete picture of the rape gang phenomena. It goes on to say that it stated that the number of men from Asian ethnic backgrounds were among the suspects for the group-based child sexual exploitation, and it also quotes several reports showing that a significant proportion of those convicted were of Pakistani or the Muslim heritage. The crime stretched back a generation. So this is what has been mentioned in the report, and the MP going on to say that this is a link between religion and the rape gangs there.
All right, so already suggesting that the report outlines in great detail what has happened, why it has happened, and what needs to be done to stop it from happening again. Akansha and Shinjoy, thank you very much for joining in. We head into a short break.
We're on our way to go dive at this beautiful spot in the ocean.
Sorry, I didn't know it was going to go to that. So, another thing, I'm pretty sure this is British TV, and none of them were British. If that matters, they all seem like they're not British. So that may be one of the problems. I will say that one of the reports, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it did say that in the part of the report, it says why they pick white women. They said that white women were not as pure as Muslim women, that they deserve what they get. A lot of these things, like that's why it's white women. White Christian women were a lot of the target, was because they weren't as pure as Muslim women. They don't dress, can't think of the word they used, but, like women that aren't dressed in burqas show a little bit more than you would in a burqa. So they go into a lot of detail. Like I said, the one podcast I watched, he read one of the girls' actual testimony that you can find if you look it up. I don't remember her name, but it's not her real name, of course. It's an alias. I want to say Jennifer. I can't remember. I think it may be. She literally talked about what happened to her. And when I Googled this, you can look up a lot of other witnesses if it's something you want to look up. Again, it's horrendous to think that these are young girls. The girl that I think her name's Jennifer, she was 12. Okay. They just picked her up off the street. Okay. Now there's a gentleman that I just, not that I just found. He's been pointing this out for years. He said that they're called lover boys, which makes sense, I guess. He said that they're called lover boys in UK, and then they're called something else somewhere else. And then they said you can probably find a new name because it's probably happened in America. Duh, it's happening here. Okay. If you want to think it's not, I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you most likely it's happening here because it's been happening in the UK for at least since 2009, because that's when Tommy Robinson started talking about it. And they said it's a generation. So that means it's been happening for like 20 years. Okay. Roughly. Okay. So I'm going to say again, do we hear of these kind of stories with the Jews? I have not. Again, I know this has happened in the UK. It's not here yet. we don't have this stuff because of the Second Amendment. Because if this happened, if this was found out here and it was on the news or whatever, you're going to have some crazy good old boys going after Muslims. So the good thing is it will probably hold them off from, well, not really a good thing is because it's probably hidden so well that we may never know. It may be an accident that we find out, which is probably what happened there. Was people started talking about it enough, and this guy that released this report, once the report was out, they couldn't hide it anymore because he's probably got names, he's probably got locations. It's 218 pages. I said like 500. I couldn't remember. 218 pages. So he's got all kinds of things on these people because they've been watching these people for years. Like I said, Tommy Robinson, it's been since 2009 when he started really making a big deal about it. Because something happened to his niece. And that's how he started finding out about all this stuff. Because they did something to his niece. This is why the last couple years I've been talking about it. Here's another example on why I've been talking about it. And just give me a sec. I'm going to go to another screen. Oh, sorry. Something popped up. Okay, so number of Muslims currently holding public office in the U.S. Available reporting shows a recent surge in Muslim Americans elected in public office, with multiple outlets reporting 42 Muslim Americans won races in the 2025 off-year elections. CAIR has said it will publish a 2026, of course, after the new elections. Nationally, only a small number of Muslims have served in the U.S. Congress, which we know the couple that are there. But it's saying last year alone, 42 Muslims were elected into some kind of public office. Mayors, state legislators, judges, local officials. Citing organizational commentary from, I think it's just called CARE, and other Muslim Network TV and Radiance News both carried stories using 42 figure. So that's probably pretty accurate on, okay. The itemized coverage says the victories included 5 mayors, 4 state legislators, 2 judges, and dozens of city, county, and school board officials. Okay, so these people got elected into our school boards. Which explains, because I saw a video of this girl was saying they were at schools handing out Qurans. Okay, we're not allowed to hand out Bibles in schools. They're handing out Qurans. So this is why I say Muslims are the bigger threat than the Jews. I don't hear also, well, they read the Torah, so anyway, which would be part of the Bible. So that's the same thing. This is why people hate the Jews. It's just like hating Christians. It's the same scenario. I'm saying this to you in case you have a daughter, you have a granddaughter, you have a niece, you have a sister, you have someone that is in the age range of, I don't remember what school it was where they were handing out Qurans, but I saw it, and I'm going to say probably like Minnesota or New York City. One of the ones that are really overtaken by Muslims, where people are too afraid to say anything. But it was a school. There was a girl. She did a video. She was like, oh my gosh, they're handing out Qurans in the school. And I want to say it was middle school. I don't think it was high school, because high school, I would say people are a little bit smarter about, they probably wouldn't take one, right? Or they'll say, no, no, thank you. Middle school, that is when we are at our time where we really start to make our decisions. Because we're getting into puberty, you know, from about 11, 12, 13, we're hitting puberty. We're starting to ask questions. And I'm pretty sure it was a middle school. I'm not positive. But I know they do hand them out on also college campuses. So, we know this already. We watched what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay. So, it's a very scary thing seeing this come out in the UK. Okay. We're going to also think of the UK. Okay. The UK is very close to our country. Okay. If you want to look at it as far as belief system and stuff like that, it's very close. Now, of course, they took their weapons, which is what they're trying to do here. And so they can do all these things because no one can protect themselves. You know, they literally had a guy, Muslim, trying to cut off someone's head in the middle of the street. And everyone around them, because they didn't have any weapons, just kept saying, stop, mate. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? They couldn't do anything because they had nothing to protect themselves. And this guy literally had, I don't know what kind of knife, how he had a knife and everyone else didn't, because this is the thing. Bad guys are going to do bad things, whether they are allowed to have weapons or not. He was literally trying to cut the man's head off in the middle of the street. Also something you can look up. I did not look it up because I didn't watch it. I don't want to see it. I listened to it as they were talking about it. And this was in the UK. Like I said, they're all like, what are you doing, mate? Why are you trying to cut off his head? That's all they could do. I think eventually someone tried to stop him, and that's why the guy didn't die, because the guy didn't die. They called, they don't have 911, but their 911, and the guy actually lived. I can't believe it. You know, this is the stuff. This is what we have to learn from the UK. Do not let them take our weapons. That's guns, knives, whatever we need to protect ourselves. Because yes, it's overall, it's for our protection in our house and the government. But if we're outside, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what it looks like. And I know overall we want to think everyone's good people. Look at New York City. Look at Chicago. Look at Portland. Look at these cities that are in our country. I mean, look at New York City right now. The next one, they're blowing up, burning down places, stabbing people. And this is in our country. Now, mind you, this is our citizens doing it, but it's the same concept. The Muslims do not care to be nice to us. They pretend to be nice to either convert us, because that's really the hope. The hope is to convert us. They want to convert to make their kingdom bigger, of course. Just like we want to convert people to a Christianity because we want people to make it to heaven, right? So their idea is just like ours, except for they're more crazy about it. They're more radical. Now, yes, are there nice Muslims? Of course there's nice Muslims. They're the ones that actually practice the correctness. Now, the radicals, they go crazy because they take stuff out of context, just like Christians, right? We do the same thing. Not we as in you watching, I'm saying we as in a whole will say, well, this scripture says this, and we take it way different than the way it was meant, right? We do it all the time. And that's what happens with these Muslims. They do the exact same thing, is they take the Quran and they look at it totally different. Like they think rape is okay. To them, rape's okay. It's okay to marry a 9-year-old because Muhammad married a 6-year-old. So they think it's okay because why wouldn't they think it's okay? We would think it was okay if Jesus married somebody that was 9, right? We'd be like, oh, well, Jesus did it, so it must be okay. My thing's messed up. So it's just right, different denominations because we think different and we interpret the Bible different. So this is the same thing with Muslims. I could say, yes, there are, of course, good Muslims. They have a good heart. They're not crazy. But the problem is because the radicals are so radical, it takes away. It's like you can't say, well, not all. Because there's such a possibility of them becoming radicalized, especially boys. Okay? Women don't have as much choice. They kind of just go along with it. If they try to leave, most of the time they will be killed. Okay? They can't just leave. I mean, think about it. They think it's okay to dig a hole, put a woman in a hole, and stone her to death. Does that sound like some nice people? I don't think that sounds nice to me. I mean, you may think it sounds nice. I don't think it sounds nice. I mean, again, in Iran, when the people tried to protest, they killed them. 10,000 of their own people. They shot them dead in the street. I don't see that happening in Israel. I don't see them shooting their people in the street. Again, I don't see it. It could be happening, but I'm pretty sure if that was happening, someone for sure would be blowing that up on X, TikTok, something because of the Jews. People need to wake up and be aware of what is happening in other countries that can happen here or is probably happening here. I know for sure they're sacrificing animals here because of the First Amendment right. They can. I looked it up and I know for sure they can. So what is that doing to this country? What kind of spirits are they putting on this country by blood sacrificing animals? They said 99% of Muslims agree with Sharia law. 99. That's a lot. That means 1% of the Muslims probably live here and love freedom. That's the percentage probably here that are the nice Muslims that you would say, oh, they're so nice and sweet and I like them, right? Because you have the 1% that's saying, I like freedom. I don't like Sharia law. I want to live like Americans live. Have you seen the videos of all the people coming here for the World Cup? FIFA, right? They're all like, man, America's great. People been talking trash about it. We love it. Now, mind you, they've been in Texas, so that's a lot different. They're going to end up, I think, in LA. And I think I can't remember where else they're going to be. They might feel different, but they've been in Texas and they love it. They've heard you're going to get shot, all these bad things. Well, because you look at New York City, Chicago, LA. But because these things are happening, the other things can happen. To say, oh, it's not happening here, you're just living in like a fantasy land. You think we're untouchable. Well, I thought that till 2020. Okay. Realistically, I was like, this stuff will never happen here. 2020, no. I don't put anything past our government. And I don't put anything past people at this point. Not at all. Because people do people things. Okay? Demons are real. And if you look at this stuff, this is demonic. Of course, rape gangs. What in the world? Like, I knew stuff was going on, but when I heard this, it even shocked me. And I know a lot of things that I wish I didn't know. And I was like, this is crazy. They said 250,000 girls had been part of this throughout the years. 250,000 girls. And that's probably just the ones they know of. That's what they said. There's some they don't know about. I mean, your life is changed forever after that. Like, imagine just being it happening once, how much your life changes. But gangs, that's horrifying. So we need to know this is going on. Again, like I said, you have daughters, you have nieces, sisters, whatever. Like, this is why I am always going after this. I don't want stuff like this to happen to my daughter. She's very, very naive. She would see the best in everyone. So she wouldn't even catch on. And so this is why I'm like this. Like, no, this is not coming to my doorstep. And I have nieces. I don't want that to happen to my nieces. My sisters. You know, it's crazy because they're literally targeting white girls. Now, it didn't say all of them were young. It didn't say they were all young. I just know the couple that I heard about were young. But I'm going to say it's probably not necessarily all young girls. It's probably girls in their 20s. They targeted a lot of blondes because they thought they're the worst, is the blondes. So because we haven't heard about it doesn't mean it's not happening here. So just, hey, you don't want to carry a weapon, carry mace, pepper spray, whatever. One year, that's what I bought my sisters and my nieces, pepper spray that you just carry on your little keychain. It was a whole little set. It had pepper spray and early things on it, but it was stuff you could use as weapons. I gave that to everybody for Christmas one year. Hey, you don't want to carry a gun. You don't want to carry a knife, but you got mace. You got a nail file. You got something on you that's a weapon. Like, the enemy knows his time is close. He's on a rampage. He is out to get us. He doesn't care how he does it. And because of the religion of Islam, they're the easiest target to use to get to people because of the things they believe. They believe women are less than. And mind you, well, they said boys. They did say boys too. So, got to be careful if you have boys too. But it's probably a little bit less if it's a boy that looks physical. You know what I mean? Like somebody that looks like they might be athletic. It's probably more for a younger boy. But it's definitely targeting women more than boys. So, but still, you need to be knowing what's going on. Just pay attention to your surroundings. Use wisdom. So that is all I have for you today because I am in the process of moving and I really looking forward to it. I hate moving. So that's all I got. I probably am not going to get probably get a lot of hate stuff, but I don't care. I want people to know to be safe. Tell your daughters to be safe, your nieces, your sisters, whoever. Because I am almost certain it's here. Like I said, it's been a whole generation of them over there, which means it's been happening here also. Probably in every country. So I thank you so much for watching. Please like and share. I am going to do a little bit more research. I might hit on this again tomorrow, just because I'm going to do a little bit of research on statistics of how many Muslims are in each country, maybe, because that might narrow some of it down to areas that it might be more likely. I know there's a lot of mosque in Texas. There's a lot of mosque in Georgia. So those areas might be a little bit more likely to have some stuff like that happen. You know, like I said, places where, you know, Minnesota is a very populated area of Muslims. You know, places where they have Muslims as mayors, because they're going to definitely look the other way. They may not be participating in it, but they're going to look the other way. Like the government in the UK, who looked away for years. They said it. The government has known about it. They look the other way. If people don't learn, the government's not here for your protection. You got to protect yourself. So anyway, thank you so much. Hope you have a great evening. Be safe, be blessed. I hope that you come back and see me tomorrow. Again, I'm going to do a little bit more research on this. I don't want to talk another whole episode about it unless I find some really important things. I may, because this is so important for our safety. So thank you so much. Have a great night.